Hey, everyone. This is Natasha from Lovely You Blog here, as always, to inspire you to do life better. Happy Wednesday. It's actually Wednesday today. And so I'm
Yes,
excited again to just come on and to bring another wonderful episode or broadcast of Doing Life Better. And I'm so excited today because I have my friend as
yes.
well as my beautiful cousin, Latonia, here with us, you guys. So welcome her. Put all the emojis, high fives, hello in the chat, in the comment section. If you're joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. Just wanted to thank even those who may be watching on the replay. If you could just leave a hello, let us know that you stopped by. And even as we're beginning to chat today, we would love to just go ahead and you can ask questions even as we're going along, and we'll be looking at those and answering those as they come. So again, welcome, Latonia. I'm so glad that you're here today to share with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be back.
Yes, to be back. Yes. So
Yes.
we were kind of chatting a little bit yesterday ahead of this, and we were just kind of talking about the last time that she was actually on a broadcast. It was what, like 2-3 years ago? How long ago?
Oh my God. Yeah. It had to be at least 2 years ago.
Yes.
That's
So
so crazy how fast time flies.
right. So I'm so excited to bring her back because it's just a season that we need her. Like we need Latonia and what she
Aww.
has to bring and what she has to offer. We need her during this season. So I'm so excited again just to continue on with this series on Doing Life Better, because we're going to be chatting all things journaling today with
Yes.
Latonia. She is, I call her the guru of journaling. Like she knows everything there is to know about journaling. So I said, when I was thinking about, starting the series and just, she came to my mind to share because you guys know I've been bringing on experts in the field to try to help us in this season, this crazy season that we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to start off by again, we chatted a little bit yesterday about journaling, and I was talking to her and I was like, some people might not even know what journaling is, or we
Yes.
might be confused about it. I mean, is it a book? Is it something that I do just to be doing? So I wanted her to just share a little bit or kind of define for us before we get into our chat, like, what is journaling?
Okay. Big question right up front. Let's get right into it. Yes. So, and it's funny you say that because when I was live the other night, I kind of shared how I got into journaling a little bit. And to be honest, I'll keep it simple. Journaling is basically your form of self-expression on paper relating to the events of your life. And that's in a general sense what journaling is. It's your own form of self-expression that you're putting down on paper. And when I mean putting down on paper, it could be words, it could be drawing, it could be photography, it could be whatever it is that you are using to express yourself relating to the events of your life or the things that you're passionate about. So does that give a good little
That's so perfect.
point?
Yes, I'm actually writing it down, and I tend to do it every single time I come on because everybody has so much great things to share. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be recorded. It's recording, so I can always go back to it. But yes, I just wrote that down. Journaling is a form of self-expression that you put down on paper. I love even how you explain that it can be more than words. Because I mean, I don't want to say back in the day, but I still love to draw. and so it's cool that drawing and what else you mentioned? Drawing,
photography.
Yes, that's good.
It basically even the same things that you would use on your vision board too.
Mm-hmm.
had I been more, thinking ahead, I would have definitely brought some of my journals to be part of the conversation with us today. But maybe next time.
Yes, we'll have to do this again. You know us, so we'll
Yeah.
have to do it again. So yes, first I want to say hey to Anita and Cheryl. They're joining in and saying hello. So I wanted to give a shout out to them. And so I love that it can be anything, photography, new clips, all kind of different things, just whatever creative self-expression as you put it. So yes, that was the perfect definition of that. And so I got a little bit ahead. Oh, you got a journal now. So
I said, let's pick up one of my journals because most likely there's something in there I can share. So here we go.
Yes. See?
So I started this journal based, you usually get into journaling based on different seasons of your life and what you're trying to express during that time, what you're trying to focus on, what you're trying to work on. And so when I start a new journal, I always try to start it with some type of aspirations, motivations, words of encouragement, or just something visual that speaks to the season that I am in. And so I love this one.
Yes.
So I figured I'll go ahead and share that.
And Cheryl says that she loved words and images. I think that's so good and so important because even for me, that's why I said years ago, I know I had this conversation with Latonia. I had no clue, obviously, about journaling and just everything that it can do for you, And so I actually called on Mondays, right? You have journaling with you on Mondays?
Yes. Journaling with Latonia on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. And so I actually was able to tune in a little bit on this past Monday, and you had your guest up there, Anita, and it was just such a great conversation to hear just her journey and how journaling has helped her. And so it just reminded me, as I told you, I found myself in the conversation because it's like I was that person who was like, oh, I'm not sure if journaling is for me. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it. But the cool thing is, and I'm going to try not to spend so much time just, I'm just like talking.
Please say it. Because just like you, honestly, Tasha, just like you, there's so many women that find themselves in those shoes. Mm-hmm. And so please share what you were thinking so that way I can hear what you were thinking on the other side of the screen. When we are on live and social, we don't get to hear from everybody and hear everybody's thoughts. And so please, yes. Yeah. I know. I want to hear from you too.
I know. What I was just going to say, and I'll try to make it really brief, is years ago when we had this conversation about journaling, I didn't know where to start. I'm like, I don't know if it's really for me. And I did, I can't remember how many days. What was your choose joy or choose happiness challenge, journaling challenge, and I did that, and it was just so awesome. And so it really opened my eyes to what journaling can really, really do for you on the inside, and how you process things and how you cope with things and how you heal from things. I mean, it's so many things. So again, that's why I have Latonia here, because she knows all things journaling. And I got ahead of myself and didn't really properly introduce you. So Latonia is the owner and founder of Let's Write Life. It's a self-love journaling company that empowers women to choose happiness, move forward, and rewrite life by faith. And I absolutely love that. And she teaches journaling workshops and programs, leads retreats, and provides a community for women to choose happiness. And each and every one of her journals, her Let's Write Life journals, provides a home for women to capture their unique self-love journey. And I just love that. So I wanted to go ahead and add that in there before we get and so again, just thanking you for being here. And now could you just share a little bit about what what kind of inspired Let's Write Life, and then just kind of moving into, your journaling journey?
Yes. So I I always kid about these in my talks. Like when I go and speak and, people are like, "Oh my gosh, Let's Write Life. That's so different. That's so unique." I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't come up with this idea.
Yeah.
This was God's vision for my life. And it was not something I planned. And the way I got here was not something I would have chose. I really had a different plan. Like I was sharing in my live for journaling with Latonia, I started journaling at a young age. And I went to college, I went to business school because I wanted to be an accountant, believe it or not. And I was going that trajectory. And then life happened where I just found myself in a very low place of sadness. Different things kind of came along my journey that really made me not happy with my life. And I decided that I was going to really up level my faith and really turn to God to just get my life back on track. And the tool that worked in that season was journaling. So I had been journaling since I was a kid. I had got my first journal at 12 years old. I still have that journal. It was introduced to me at Bible study. Well, not Bible study, but children's Bible school. And we had these composition notebooks and we decorated them and they were our prayer journals. And so it's so crazy. Even when I say that, I'm like, wow, my first journal entry started with a prayer. Like from that young age, like this purpose was already planted into my life. And so it's just, man, that's a whole nother story. But it went through a breakdown, a very low season of my life to start to see the things in my life that actually mattered. Yeah. And I started journaling about those things, and coming out of that season and looking back, I realized just how important journaling was for me. And I remember sitting in church at a Bible study, and there was a woman like across the aisle. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I remember saying to myself, as this woman was sharing what she was going through, I said, I need to help this woman. I need to tell her what I've learned about journaling. Even if journaling may not be for her, even if this is like crazy, I have to tell her what worked for me, what helped me heal, what helped me move forward, what helped me overcome the challenges that I was going through. Why would I want to keep it to myself? Because another part of my journey is I had faced different people committing suicide in my life. And I told myself, I am not going to be silent about this anymore. Yeah. I'm not going to sit back and see women hurting when even I can be of help and of service to them. And so with that, I totally started rewriting my life. Literally, I was writing about it, and I was starting to eliminate the things that were stealing my joy or didn't align anymore or didn't lead me to this vision that God had given me in that dark time. And so that's how Let's Write Life was birthed.
That is so powerful, and it's so crazy. And I don't know if I actually heard this particular story before, because obviously I know you, and we've talked over the course of the years, and we talk a lot about business and stuff like that. But this particular story is so powerful. It's so powerful, and it just brings again to light just why you're so passionate about journaling, because it started on the inside, and it started with God, what his purpose and plan for you. So this is just, as I said, one reason why I wanted you here, because you're passionate about it, because you lived it. And so I just love that. So let us kind of move into some of your points that we have for how we can do that better as it relates to journaling.
Yes. You guys, I'm looking all around. You're probably, what is she doing? I have so many journals in front of me right now. I have one, so I make sure I say what I came here and wanted to share with you guys today. So yeah, I definitely so as I'm looking down, I'm actually just looking between my journals and also my notes. So please, I don't want to be disrespecting. You guys have my attention here. So yeah, so I definitely, when you ask me like what would be the 3 things I would want to share, the first thing that I think is so important right now, if I can just be as relative and relatable as possible, I was like, we're going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about how journaling helps to reduce stress and how you can journal to do that. So I have a journaling course, and in the course, for those women who are just kind of like, what is the real benefits of this? I always like to remind people that journaling is just not something fun to do. Like, this is actually medically proven, evidence-based, as a self-healing tool that you have access to at any moment, at any given time. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it can really be life-changing, not just emotionally, mentally, but also physically. When you think about stress, there are external factors that are usually the causes of these stressors. And with the things going on in this world today, I don't really know how anybody is avoiding stress right now, other than through the practice of self-care. And self-care looks like, because even that's something that people don't generally always understand or know what that looks like. So self-care can look like journaling. It can look like fitness. It can also look like decisions to choose happiness. It can be setting boundaries to protect your energy. It could be removing things from your life that cause you stress. So that's why self-care is good for stress and in reducing anxiety. So when you're journaling, it's allowing you to take what's on your mind that's draining your energy and give it a place to put it for now, or let it go, or just process the things that are making you feel stuck. And right now, this year, I've been doing a lot of that. So I'll share with you guys and your audience. I had a baby in the car this year.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, who does that, Latonia?
Like, I'm officially one of those women now. Can you believe this? So yes. Along with having the baby in the car, I actually had to go home and take care of this baby the very same week that the schools shut down because of the pandemic. So that time when I'm supposed to be resting and getting used to the baby and having people all around to support, I did not have that at all. It was very hard. And I had to really level up my own self-care. I had to really be mindful about where my thoughts were heading. Because for me, postpartum depression is something I have suffered with in the past. So I'm speaking in terms of my own life, but in your own life, how can you be more mindful of what your stress looks like? And the way that has always helped for me is to write down those things so that I can begin to plan ways to help me cope through it, overcome it, persevere through it. It's just a way for me to reduce stress in my life. And I figured, you know what? I'd like to share that with you guys in case you're in a place of stress and overwhelm, or maybe you have to transition in ways you never imagined you'd have to do this year. And you're not sure what that next step looks like. Journaling is such a good way to just process your thoughts, write down your ideas, write down whatever is going on in your mind so that you can start to create a blueprint for yourself to take the next step forward and Write down what you may think that next step looks like. What is God saying to you? Who are the people who just landed some confirmation of something that was on your mind into your life that you can pray over and move forward with? These are just some ways that journaling can really be helpful when it comes to reducing stress. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. That was so good. And just your story, like you had so much to deal with. So that was, I don't know, that was
I have so much, guys. Oh my goodness. So much. And let's talk about grief.
wow.
Not only in the sense of people passing, which has happened this year as well, but also in the sense of losing things that you worked hard for.
Yeah.
Losing people moving, my sister moving to Georgia, you know, it just so many aspects of grief too this year.
True. Yes.
And so having a place to express how you feel helps you to cope better. And even communicate with those around you who want to help you, and you may not know how. And the words are not there, but when you journal, you begin to find those words to say, you know what, this is what I need right now, in ways that you may have not been able to say, or maybe you don't want people to help you and you just need a place to just process on your own. And journaling sometimes can be that. I like what Anita said in my live. Anita, you're here. But journaling can be your best friend, that friend that you need when nobody else can be. And it's definitely been like that for me. So yeah.
That's so good. You know, so that made me think about I can't remember, but this season, like the shutdown has been, as for everybody else, right? You know, you have the stressors, you feel the grief, again, not any kind of loss.
Yes.
For grief from any kind of loss. So so this has been that season. And so it's so funny because I can't remember what post I wrote, but I wrote some post and your comment on it was, Tasha, this is journaling.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you remember or not. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so right. So I've been, you know, so I found my way of journaling, like what I do. I found it, you know, and it was so, but it was
nailed it right there. Your way. That's like key right there. Your way of journaling.
Yep. Because I mean, it was so funny. I had showed my husband something even yesterday because we were just talking about the kids and we were like, you know, and in my notes, I had wrote just one little sentence and I showed it to him and he was like, yep. So it's my way of journaling. I jot down things all the time and it helps me process it. And I go back to it and I use it for my sharing my stories and writing, you know, blog posts and things like that. So yes, I love that I was doing it. And I love how you brought it to my attention that this is what it is. So I wanted to tell you that because as I brought it up. So yes, I love that so much. So that first tip is reducing stress and just using journaling to reduce stress. And this is the perfect time to do it if you're not already doing it. Okay. So moving into the second point.
Yes.
Let me share that.
Okay. So the next one that I have is making journaling a form of self-care for you. So I kind of shared what self-care looks like, and self-care looks different for everybody. It's almost like telling someone you should practice self-care and giving them an idea, but at the end of the day, you have to practice self-care in the way that works for you. That's why I'm so glad that you said that. And I always like to think of hairstylists. Like, you don't just give up on getting your hair done because the hairstylist you went to wasn't really doing it right. You just find another one. Or, you know, you start to figure out how to make it work. You tell them what you want and things like that. And I think of journaling in that way. It's kind of like, rather than you trying to fit into journaling should just try to work into what you're doing in your life. So self-care journaling for those ladies who are so busy like me or just want to explore what journaling is. This is exactly why I started journaling with Latonia on Mondays, because whether women realize it or not, by them attending that live with me on Mondays, that's them practicing self-care. And while we're there, we end up journaling because I do the journaling live. And my hope is that when they get off live or when we get off live, you just continue to stay in that space. Because many times women may wonder, how do I have time to journal? Which is a lot. I get the question all the time. And sometimes you need to set aside the time for it to happen. And then other times you just naturally are able to incorporate it into your life depending on what your focus for journaling is. So it could be for relaxation and you just want to practice, process your thoughts. Or if you're like me, I'm journaling always towards some goal, or I'm journaling always to help me figure out decisions. I use it for a lot of different reasons. But for the sake of this conversation, I definitely wanted to just share the way you can start to make journaling a part of your life if you are new to it or you're trying to make time for it. Let it become part of your self-care routine. And wherever you are fitting in time for your own self-care, it could literally be 5 minutes during lunch. It could be in the morning before you head out the door, before everybody wakes up in your house. It could be in the evening, right before you go to bed, just jotting down the things that you have to do the next day. Sometimes it's not even about reflecting. It's pretty much whatever you need to support your self-care, whatever you need to support where you are, and just expressing that.
I love that so much. That's so good. I mean, because again, it's look, you don't know how much you're helping me out. I know everyone that is watching is gleaning from this as well. But as you're saying, fitting it into your life, that's exactly what has been happening with my handy dandy phone. Notes is really what I've been using to kind of journal. And I need to get better on self-care, like I know a lot of women do, because it's just hard fitting.
Yes.
But I mean, I throughout the day, I'm jotting things down, whether it's just a thought or just a lot of thoughts I'm jotting down throughout the day, or whether, I'm reading something or I'm reading the Bible, I'm jotting it down, I'm
exactly
throughout the day. And so, yeah.
And you can multitask it too. For example, like you said, when you're reading the Bible, God speaks to you in that time. So journaling along with devotion time works. I do that a lot at church. I mean, there's not a service I don't bring my journal to. And praise and worship time as well. Perhaps I just want to put some music on. God will speak to you in that time. Have your journal around. So it's not like, oh, I have to sit down and do this. It's just have your journal handy. And whenever you feel led to write, or if an idea comes, make that your entrance into journaling, where you're not thinking, oh, I have to journal, but you're thinking, let me write this down. And then it becomes habit that you're naturally writing things down without the barriers or the things that prevent you from quote unquote journaling, because it no longer has a rule in your mind of what journaling is. It's just, let me write this down because I thought of it. It just becomes a natural thing.
Yes. I love that so much, because it's like, it's almost like a duh to me right in this moment. And that's why I love Let's Write Life, because I think that was my personal barrier to say, what am I supposed to write when I journal? What am I supposed to write?
Yes.
It's not about like a lot of rules or the way of doing. It's like you said, write it down.
Yes.
Express whatever is inside and on your mind. I mean, it's just so much freedom in it. And it's so helpful. I want to look at some of these comments. So Anita was saying, yes, that journaling was her best friend, as you guys had spoke of on Monday during your live. And also Anita says, Natasha, your posts are rich. Thanks so much, Anita, for that.
Yes.
And Anita said, praise and worship is a good time. And that's so cool because as a worship leader, I have, again, so many thoughts and the Spirit speaks to you. And it's awesome just to write it down. So this is awesome.
Because I thought of you and I was like, yeah, because you're a praise and worship leader. And then I feel bad for you at the same time because I'll be in church sometimes and right during praise and worship, I will literally be that one person while everybody's standing up, got their hands up, and I'm standing there like, I'm like journaling like crazy. And so.
But see, the cool thing is your act of worship too, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's so funny. Oh.
Sometimes I'm like writing down those song lyrics, and then it's just like, oh my gosh, look at all these answers I've been waiting for, and they're just pouring into my spirit, and I end up just like right in the middle of praise and worship, just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
That's so awesome. I love it. Anya says hello, wishing you both a blessed Wednesday. Thank you,
Anya. Oh my gosh. My art piece is named I Am Anya, right?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, so anytime I see a Anya, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's my woman.
Oh.
Yes. So that art piece is another, it's not one of my tips, but listen, I never considered myself to be an artist. So I can relate to people who are just like, I don't journal, like it's not my thing. Because I never considered myself to be an artist. But there came a point in my journey where I found myself wanting to reach those people who had a hard time expressing themselves because of pain or hurt that they had experienced in their life, and it really makes it hard for them to get their words out on paper. Yeah. So I do a lot of work with therapists and counselors, and they work with clients that are really going through some really dramatic stuff in their life, and it's hard for them to bring up those events from their past. And I always knew I wanted to have art somewhere in my journey. And it finally happened that I felt able to do this. And so this art piece became something I challenged myself to do, to express my journey through journaling, through art. Wow. And so this I Am Anya art piece came out of that. And I look at it and I'm like, you can't really see it all. And I can't really move it too much. But when I made that, I was like, what? It was like, how did this come out of me? And sometimes that happens with your journaling too. You'll be journaling and you'll be like, wow, I didn't know I was feeling this way about it. Or I didn't know that this was something I really needed to release. Yeah. And you never know what comes out of you. Like I have a whole art piece, and this art piece ended up being picked up by Johnson & Johnson's Breaking the Stigma campaign. And it went all around the country with Johnson & Johnson without me. They didn't even invite me. But they took the art piece and they had it part of their Breaking the Stigma campaign for mental health last year. Wow. And had I not just followed my heart to do it, I may have never had that opportunity that people are able to see now as a form of hope. So I named the art piece I Am Anya because Anya means woman of hope. And so Anya is the name I gave to the women I want to reach through Let's Write Life. And so whenever I see an Anya, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. Thank you.
Yes. That's so crazy, beautiful. My gosh, this is just so awesome. Oh, Amber says, love it, write, and worship. Yes, I'm still, I guess on Sundays when I don't serve, I'm going to make sure I would start writing during worship.
Yes. And then look, if you're like me, you'll feel so productive because you're like, I went to church, I journaled, I prayed, You'll feel like you did a lot.
I love it so much. Cheryl is saying, wow, congratulations, Latonia, on your piece
Thank
and
you so much.
helping so many women. It's so amazing. Just awesome, awesome, awesome stories. And this is just so good. Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yes. So you want to move into the third thing that you have?
Ready for this? You ready? All right. So step number 3. These are my top methods, you guys. These are my top methods. And there's so many more. Once you get to know me, you're just gonna know. I just got a lot. I got a lot. But number 3 that I wrote down, I said I definitely want to share this. And that is, what you write about makes a difference. So when I was 12, I didn't know what in the world I was really saying. And I just carried the gift of journaling into my adulthood. And it wasn't until I wanted to turn my life around, I wanted to build my confidence, I wanted to be happy again. Sometimes when you think about, what are your dreams? What are your goals? People have lofty things. But for me, it was, I just wanted to be happy. And I know sometimes in faith-based communities, joy versus happiness, I say happiness because that's what I relate. That's what spoke to me in that season. And the way I think about happiness is a symptom of joy. So when you have joy, happiness shows up in your life. But if you don't have joy in your heart, happiness is hard to find. So I wanted that symptom of happiness to lead me back to the root of joy that had been uprooted somewhere on my journey. And so that's why I love the Choose Happiness Challenge that you got to experience a bit of, because sometimes you don't know where the happiness is. But if you can spend some time looking for it, it will show up. And it will lead you back to God's heart. It will lead you back to your joy. It will lead you back to the things that matter. It just is very powerful. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make sure I said this because sometimes people think that journaling is just for venting. And journaling is awesome for venting. But if you want to get something positive out of it, if you want your life to really change for better, if you want to see the things you put your energy into grow, you have to be writing about those things. You have to be writing about your happiness. You have to be writing about your goals. You have to be writing about your happiness. You have to be writing about the things that matter to you. You have to be writing about God's word. You have to be writing your prayers. You have to be writing the vision that God said to make plain. Because sometimes when it's in your mind and you got so much going on, it's not plain. It's not always plain. Mm-hmm. And the other part of that verse is so that he may runneth with it.
Yeah.
You may find yourself stuck in life. And if you think about the venting you use your journals for, that's the life you may end up living. And you have to break that cycle. And when you journal, you may find yourself, once you know this one thing that you should write about something different, you'll realize that the words that you're writing about venting and things, you'll realize that you're sick of writing that way. And if you don't know this one thing, you will write that way for your whole entire life and not even realize there was another side of journaling that could change your life. And I feel like it's so important to just get that out there to as many women as possible, because we're all going through so much right now. And this one thing literally changed my life. I changed the way that I was writing. And I remember when I started Let's Write Life, people were like, journaling? Like, it was a joke. Like, really? I went to business school, paid all that money to journal. And then it's kind of like, there's so many journals out there. Why are you going to start a journaling company making journals when people can get journals for $4 and $5 at Walmart or TJ Maxx and Home Goods and all these amazing stores? Nice journals, And I said to myself, it's not about the journal.
Mm.
It's about the journey. It's about the journey we are on. And people don't always understand your journey. So when people have opinions about your dreams and your goals, tell them, judge me when you're perfect, okay? Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, the only opinion that matters is God's and mine's and my husband's. And you know, so I kind of freed myself from the expectations of others in the world and just so many things that kept me imprisoned. And I started living my life so different because of this thing that allowed God to get closer, allow me to get closer to God, and allow me to really rebuild my confidence and just walk in my purpose with boldness, not fearlessness. Because it's scary to step out on faith.
Yeah.
And so that's where this journey has led me.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, this is so good. It's so good.
Right. I'm taking you there today.
Yes, and you, for real. I'm telling you. So I just wrote down. I'm taking notes still because that's just what I do. But what I took from that, which is so powerful, is what you write is just as important as what you say. You know, because we focus so much on the power of tongue, life and death is in the power of the tongue. But what you just said, and it's really coming from the right division verse, you know, it's what we write.
And what else, Tasha, do we know? From the abundance of your heart,
the mouth speaks. Yeah, it's true.
So how can you be writing about something that you're not talking about?
Yeah.
So you have to retrain your mind.
Yeah, that's good.
And journaling really helps you to do that. I know I do journaling for fun and I go live on Monday nights, but I actually do have a career doing this.
Right.
I teach programs on this. So it's like, yes, I want you to know how to journal, but there is another level that I'm not presenting online because it's for those who want to take the journey. You know, my mom says this all the time. You can bring the camel to the water, but you cannot force the camel to drink. And I live that method. Like, if you want to really learn and be on this journey, I'm not going to string you along. Like, there are actually women who are needing this. So, like, I teach people journaling, and I like to share the things that are going to make an impact. But if you want to really be on a journey of life change, it's another level of journaling. And you can be on that journey with me. I'm here. I have literally dedicated my life to this because I'm that passionate about it.
Yes. Yes. I want to, Cheryl has a question for you. How did it rebuild your confidence?
As a matter of fact, I think I posted about this today. Journaling builds your confidence. Oh man, that's a big one. Okay, you want to know? And I'm looking right at this frame that goes with me everywhere. I moved 4 times in the last 12 months. And this frame right here, it is never far from my side. So when I started journaling, I started making sure that the things I valued, I never let leave my side. And so when I think about how journaling helped to build my confidence, it helped build my confidence through God's word and remembering who I am. This is a huge one. A lot of why we struggle with confidence is because we don't know who we are. We don't value ourselves for what we've gone through, our lived experiences, our education, just so many reasons why we dishonor ourselves sometimes. That's true. And a lot of it has to do with we have just forgotten who we are because we have accepted the inabilities that people make us feel. Do you understand what I mean? Like when there's expectations the world has on us, so it makes us feel less significant. Like we have to be perfect. We have to have certain accolades. We have to have the certain qualifications. We have to be and look and do certain things. And that deplenishes the confidence we have in ourselves. But at the end of the day, God always tells us who we are. And at the end of the day, in my book, God he already qualified me for this life.
Yeah.
And when we know who we are, we can live our life. Yeah. And it's not me trying to live Tasha's life. It's not me trying to live Anita's life or anybody else's life. God qualifies us for what we are supposed to be doing. And he gives you the passion for it.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
You want to do what you want to do, and that thing never goes away. It'll always be there like, see, you should be doing this. You should have been doing this. You should. And so when you journal, you start to write about the things that motivate you. You start to write about the things that are going to speak to your negative thoughts, which is what I do the most. I mean, if you look at my journals, a lot of it is, Latonia, you can do it. Latonia, you have the money to do it. Even if I don't have the money right now, I basically speak to my negative thoughts directly in my journal. And that builds my confidence. When I see, look at this. I have my vision board in my journal. I made the vision board physically, but I took a picture of it and I put it in my journal to remind myself of who I am. So my vision board is not necessarily about dreams and lofty goals. It's about how am I going to be the best of who I am? What do I need to tell myself? So I'm always seeing this. I'm not seeing the vacation in Aruba. I'm not seeing I'm not seeing those things that are not going to help me become the best of who I am. So it's seeing my family. It's seeing my kids. Like at the end of the day, as a mompreneur, I'm not doing it for, I love you guys. I love women. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it for my family. At the end of the day, we're moms, we're women, and we're trying to build legacies. We're trying to have, better lives for our kids. And I want my daughters and my son to see that, mommy did it. I could do it too. Like there's so much more to the journey. And I got to make sure that my mental health and my confidence is nurtured. That's self-care. That's what self-care is.
Yeah.
And so journaling, this whole first page, I don't know if you can see it, but it says declaration. Journals themselves that you pick. So for example, all of my journals are the words I need to hear. So this particular one is one I designed. I have 7 journals at this point that I've designed. This one is You're Worth Writing For. And this particular journal is legit. I made this to speak to my negative thoughts. There's 2 versions of it. This one is just a lined journal, but the other one has declarations on every single page that speaks to my negative thoughts. And those declarations are helping to build my confidence every single time I write. Because why? I know for me, every time I used to journal, it was when I was feeling my lowest. So when I got to my journal, I got to hear myself say, get over yourself. No, sir. It doesn't, I didn't write that in there, but maybe I should. But let me grab it. All right, so this is the journal right here. So these are the same, but one is lined and then one has the affirmations on every page. So there's this one. So sometimes you may pick a journal intentionally to help build your confidence. So that's a whole nother side of journaling. What journal should you pick? A whole nother thing, but I'll read a couple. So on this page, it says, never stop believing in yourself. This one says, as long as you believe in yourself, confidence will take you wherever you want to go. I was writing these affirmations to myself, and I said, you know what? I want those things to be in my journal, because when I journal, I tend to be in a low place, or I find I'm struggling with some negative thoughts. So your journal itself can become a place that helps you to work on building your confidence. And take some of my classes, stay plugged in with somebody who motivates you, and write about that journey you're on. There's so many ways. There's so many things.
That's so awesome. That's like a wealth of knowledge. I love some that you just really hinted at was remembering who you are, which is just huge, right?
Yeah.
And then I love something that Cheryl had put in the comments, just kind of summing up what you're saying, that it's those inner conversations that we have with ourselves. And so your theme journals with the affirmations, just the tools to help women move through the journey, and not just from a venting perspective, but building confidence. It's just so many things that it does, right? But right now I will love, just because I feel like we're segueing into it, talk about your class and talk about what, how we can get plugged into classes and just keep up with you. Talk about the intro class, because I really want you to get that out there so people can know how they sign up for that course.
Yes, you nailed it. So now you can laugh with me when people are like, so what do you journal about? Or how do you have time to journal?
Yes.
For me, it's just so much. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, how do you not have time to journal?
Yeah.
Like the goals, the dreams, the ideas, the thoughts in your mind, and God's talking to you, your family's, everybody's talking to you. So it's just like, how do you not have time to journal? So I gotta put all that somewhere, and so it tends to be in a journal. So I kind of shared the last time we spoke about the Intro to Journaling Masterclass that I have. And this masterclass is that intro to journaling. And it is a beautiful experience that I have created for anybody in any walk of life to just begin that process of writing in a way that is supportive and reduces the barriers and anxiety that you may have about writing. So I'll start by saying we're not writing about pain. Or that course is going to steer you to write in a positive way that is fun, that is informative, and that will help you be effective, whatever journey that you are on. And I say, if you want to start journaling, that's the course to get started with me. And it's cheap. Like, I may sound like a celebrity right now, which I hope I do, but I am very affordable. And so please support my work and invest in yourself. The course is $50, $49 to be exact. It's not even a lot of money. You pay a lot for a lot of other things in life that you may not even get the same benefits out of. But this right here is such a great way to invest in yourself, invest in your self-care, to get to learn how to start journaling with me. I don't really teach intro to journaling courses anymore, really, because I have another program that I run on a continual basis that is beyond the surface level of journaling. And that program is called The Best of Me. And that's typically where I spend the chunk of my time, because it's that other level of journaling that's beyond just self-expression. It's about mindset, what to write about, how to push through, how to build your confidence, actually. Building confidence. How do I choose happiness? What does happiness look like to me? All that stuff is embedded in the program. Mm-hmm. But if you're just looking to get started and you want to know what the medical, research has been done that proves journaling to be effective, I talk about that in the masterclass. And then we do some live journaling. So there's time in there where I guide you into journaling, and then I lead you to what your next step looks like and how you can write about that. And so I invite you guys to check it out. I have a code that I'm sharing with you guys. It's Start Journaling. All one word, to get $20 off the masterclass right now. Because I just feel like this is the time. This is the season. And I don't want to hold back this information. Actually, I never hold back. So I go live every Monday night. I'm here and I'm looking forward to sharing my journey with so many more spaces that I'm invited to share my story with, to just empower women, because that's what we need right now. So I hope that you'll check it out.
Yes, I love that so much. So you have a couple of things, like you say, you have your intro to journaling.
And I have the journals as well.
Say it again.
And I have the journals as well.
Yes. And the journals. Yeah. So we have to, when this is done, we'll make sure that we post a link to your shop so they can pick up the journals and sign up for the classes, the master class.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it is cheap. You're awesome, and you're just a wealth of knowledge and just experience alone. But just the passion to go along with it all is just amazing. And so $49 with a $20 off coupon. If you're anything like me who likes Starbucks,
put it in the chat.
Huh? You can put it in chat.
I put it in our chat. I don't know if.
Oh, okay. I'll post
it on Facebook though.
Yes, I'll post it. So yeah, I'm getting ready. I'll post this link and as well as the code if you don't remember. And then, like I said, literally that's the amount of a few cups of Starbucks if you're anything like me, because I can.
Oh. So you know what, too? It's just such a good start. I'll say this: I end up putting some other stuff in this masterclass as well. I put in some downloadable journaling prompts. Cool. There's intimate behind the scenes videos from my life showing how I literally embedded into my life. There's just some intimate videos there that I don't have online or anywhere else that I just made a part of that. There's instrumentals. There's like a lot of other bonus stuff.
Yeah.
Put in there because I really want to see women starting to make journaling a positive part of their life.
Yes. Cheryl is asking, is the class recordings?
It is one webinar. It is recorded so that you can go on and do it at your own pace, at your own time. And then there's like a couple of bonus videos in there, and it's all pre-recorded so that you can actually bring your journal when you're ready. There is a recommended journal that I'm using during the course, but you don't need to have it. So it's really self-independent.
Okay. Awesome. She said, wow, bonus feature. She loved the bonus features.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I find that people love learning about journaling, but they end up loving the bonus videos a whole lot more because, I'm sharing my life with I'm sharing different perspectives of journaling that people just aren't aware of. And so
it's true. And again, that's why I really wanted you to be here to share with everybody, because I feel like it's like you said, it was funny when you were saying that people were like, journaling, why would you want to do that? But really, I don't want to say it's an untapped space, but it's like,
it is though.
People don't know how powerful it is. So I'm excited for you, excited about your journey. I just love the passion you have for it. I just love you, you know that. And it's just amazing. So again, this has been a wonderful time of chatting. I loved it so much.
I love coming on your space, Natasha. I really do. You do such a great job, and I thank you so much for having me and inviting me.
Yes. So again, so if you guys continue to have any questions, you can always still leave them here, and I'll be checking it out throughout the remainder of the week and through the weekend. And be sure to get those questions over to Latonia, as well as
Instagram. Let's add that. I'm on Instagram.
Yes, I was gonna exactly what you took the words right out of my mouth. So
Good.
he's over on Instagram, sharing all the goodness on journaling. And oh gosh, you have to check her out on Mondays.
Yes.
Yes. So let's leave that in the chat as well. All the places that they can find you, we'll leave that in the chat in the comments. So is there anything else that you'd like to share before we jump off?
I think that's it. I want to leave women with this. Like, no matter what happens, know your worth. Know that you're not alone on your journey. There are so many women that are actually ready and willing. For example, Anita. Anita's part of the Let's Write Life community. We do so many amazing things together to just support each other and keep each other uplifted. So definitely check out Let's Write Life. And if you're looking for a tribe of women that you can just start to volunteer, like right now we adopted a family for domestic violence. We're all just coming together to support that family. It's so beyond journaling. It's a sisterhood. So I'm using my name today. You're a journaling sister.
I love it.
Sisterhood. And so when you start rewriting your life changes. And I like my anthem is "You're worth writing for. You always were. You always will be. So let's write life."
Look, I have nothing to add to this. It's so perfect. It's such a great way to end. I do want to just thank everybody who had tuned in, and who are watching. This has been a joy, Latonia, to speak with you. So I pray that you guys enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week. Be blessed, and thanks again. And I'll see you on next time. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.